Hey there, start here. We're going to be going to the Catastrophe Advanced Trial. This is the latest in the 12 types trials, and I'm just going to show you my initial team that I took in there. This one is right up there with Rafflesia in terms of, like, you know, day one difficulty level. For me, with the units that I have and just sort of like my initial taking this thing on, I needed to use a 6-man team to get it done in the 15 turns. And, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit that I needed to add that 6th person to get it done. I had sort of a loose team in mind that I wanted to play around with, and I just kind of stuck to it, and I you know, jankied my way to a sub 15 turn clear using this team. So I figured I'll share that with you guys. It's just my initial clear team that I took in there to try and get it done. I really just want that materia, the Aquan Killer materia that you get for the 15 turn limit, the Aquan Eater Sense. That's the real prize here. You know, party of 5 or less is great if you can do it, but I'm not going to be missing 5 STMR tickets anytime soon. And the no items thing, that one's just, I mean, that one's just a gimme, basically. But yeah, the real prizes are the Spirit Killer Plus, just for completing the thing, and then the Aquan Eater Sense, because that'll come in handy for the next 12 types trial, which will be an Aquan. And so it's always nice to pick that one up so you're ready for the next trial. So Catastrophe it's a very, it's a pretty hideous sprite. It is a fairy, so you need to bring all your fairy killers. It does do a whole bunch of single target stuff to, you know, a provoke unit that can all be provoked, like, you know, instant death, charm, berserk. And so, you know, the team that I brought in here, I wanted to try and just consolidate all of that into one unit. It does some AoE fixed damage. That's okay, we'll handle that. It does some AoE earth damage with a 300% imperil. So we have a magic tank to cover that, and I'll get to that in just a second. First things first is I need to find a friend unit set up for this. Now, originally, I wanted to bring in an olive, so I'm going to grab Cinzer's olive here because it's built specifically for this trial. And the first time I did this clear, I actually had given my Golbez olives STMR, because I have an olive as well, and so I wanted to try this using an olive, and you know, got it done, and you know, that was fine. But then I was like, well, you know what, I just got the new DV sword, the two-handed Dark Visions sword for my Golbez, and so maybe I could try to replicate this clear, assuming that, you know, assuming that you don't have your own Beach Babe olive, because honestly, if you have olives STMR, you might as well just use olive, you know, use 2 olives in this trial. It makes way more sense. You get it done a lot easier. You could potentially even get it done with just 5 units if you bring another olive in Golbez's place. I'll probably do that next with just a double olive clear to do the 5 unit mission. But for now, I wanted to show this because I love Golbez. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy IV. It is my first love in the Final Fantasy franchise, so I am, you know, so loving getting to use Golbez in this content. So I wanted to use him. So I've given him the DV sword, and I brought in Starlight Elena to provide that sword imperil, but also to provide a little bit of extra damage, just to make this a little bit easier and to make sure we get that turn count. So here's the team that I'm bringing. Celeste is going to be the magic tank, and you see a lot of people bringing Ash. Ash is definitely a better magic tank for this trial because of the fairy killer buffs that she brings. She can do a single target 250% fairy killer buff to your strongest DPS unit. She can also do an AoE 150% fairy killer buff for the team. So Ash is definitely a better slot, but a lot of people are using Ash out there, and for convenience, Celeste is a very, very convenient magic tank. for this trial because she has an innate sealing ability, and you need to seal the boss's dispel. The boss will do an AoE dispel on the party every few turns, and you need to have a source of Nephesite or sealing magic in order to deal with that. So Celeste is really great. You don't even need her to be like, you know, EX 1, 2, 3. She can be an EX 0 just as long as you can build her with enough earth resist, and she will carry you. She's also great because you can make her the provoke unit as well, because her normal attack does a magic cover. So even if her, you know, cover for some reason runs out while she's berserked, don't worry. Her normal attack will reset the cover. You're good to go. All right. Golbez, obviously a huge damage dealer. Kaito, obviously there for breaks and for the water imperil, because he can do a 140% water imperil. I've got my Nickel there. He is going to be doing the 50% water imperil field. So we're going to have a 190% imperil, total imperil, for most of the fight. That is going to be crucial because Catastrophe has 210% water resistance. So we're going to bring that down to 20% water resistance. All right. And then, like I mentioned, Starlight Elena is just there for the sword imperil primarily for Golbez, but also to do some extra damage to help us get this done quickly and easily. So let's go over the gear real quick. So Celeste, just wearing her, she's wearing her STMR. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. I just put it on her because she's EX2. So obviously I have it. If you don't, like I said, don't sweat it too much. The biggest things you want to cover on Celeste is you want to have some form of death resist. So I put safety bit on her. You want to have some form of charm resist. So I picked Curl Floaty because it also has a bit of earth resist. So charm resist and earth resist makes this a very nice accessory to put on Celeste for this trial. Spring Basket is great for the earth resist. So is the handcrafted garb. That's Maeve's TMR. The Dancer's Diadem is for the 100% passive provoke. You don't necessarily need the Dancer's Diadem on her because she does have an active provoke. So that's fine. If you don't have Dancer's Diadem, throw something else on there that's got earth resist on it, or high spirit or something like that, and then just use her active provoke skill during the fight. That's fine. And then you see we just have a lot of earth resist here. I even gave her Sylvie's vision card. Now, you know, you can even if you don't have a Sylvie, you can pick up this vision card from the Perma VC shop now. So I feel like it's totally okay to use here, even though Sylvie's not on the team. I'm not going to assume you have Sylvie. So, but you can pick up that card. It's really great because it also comes with 50% earth resist on it. So my Celeste is 390, so she's not going to be totally immune. It does a 300% imperil, so she will still be 90% immune to earth. So she will take some damage, but it's okay. It's not going to be enough for her to ever be in trouble. And she does have Kiraga in her kit, so she can heal herself up if she needs to. All right, my Golbez does have that two-handed sword, the Dark Walkure, with the 405 magic. Hopefully you guys have picked that one up. If not, don't worry, don't stress too much about it. You could still put like Fryevia's STMR on him, and he would still be ready to rock and roll, still deal plenty of damage here. I tried running this thing through Item World multiple times, trying to get the auto refresh level 2, and it never happened. And so I had to stop because this was a pretty good roll, I felt like, with the attack and mag plus 30%. But the reason why I wanted that extra 5% is because Golbez has an innate 23% MP refresh. So if you can give him 27 more percent MP refresh, he will be able to do his meteor every other turn self-sustaining. You won't need like an external MP fill unit or anything like that. That's why I've got King of Talisman on him. Now this is a limited event, limited time accessory. You may not even realize you have it. It's from the Lunar New Year 2021, I believe, or maybe like a new year or something like that. But it does 10% MP refresh. All right, so then I put Pure Lotus, which does a 12%. So that's another 22. So now my Golbez has 45% MP refresh. So if I could get that extra 5%, I tried so hard to get it. I ran that sword through dark vision so many times trying to get that auto refresh level 2. If I could get that extra 5%, he would guaranteed have full MP every other turn. But don't worry, we have a way to make sure he still has full MP or close to full MP. He'll just use his Osmos on off turns to make sure that he just kind of makes up for that last little 5%. But this is just a little FYI here, little public service announcement. You can create a self-sustaining MP refresh using King of Talisman or any other source of 10% MP refresh, along with the Pure Lotus, and then another source of 5%, preferably on the weapon. That would be really critical. So that's just something to consider out there for those of you that like using Golbez, but you maybe don't have a dedicated MP battery that can keep him refilled and topped up. Just add lots of MP refresh in there, and that will help you out. He already has a lot of innate Spirit Killers, so the Fairy Eater Sense there in Spirit Killer Plus, that already gets him up to the max. So he is stacked on Fairy Killers, ready to go. Of course, I gave him the Dazzling Demoness card. That is pretty helpful. If you don't have this, but you have Oliveira's Vision card, the neat thing about Oliveira's Vision card is it does come with an extra 5% MP refresh. So then you don't even have to worry about it. That gives you that last little 5% that you need if you have Oliveira's Vision card. All right, so that's my Golbez. He's looking pretty good, ready to rock and roll. He's going to be hitting it pretty hard. Kaito, I didn't really worry too much about gearing him. This is just gear that's kind of left over from some other trials. He already reaches Spirit Killer pretty easily, so all he needed was that extra 50% Spirit Killer there. I gave him his own Vision card. I didn't really go through too much trouble to gear Kaito here. He will do a little bit of damage, but he's not really here for damage. That's not what he's, that's not what he's built for. He's more here just for the breaks and the utility. Yeah, but let's see, he's not even full up on LB damage here. He does have full killers, but I don't think he's full on LB damage. Nah, and he's not even full on fairy. So I could have done a little bit more here to squeeze a bit more damage out of him if I needed to, but I don't really need to, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so Lord of the Seas, Nicole, he is crucial. Now, unfortunately, you are going to see some limited gear on him because he's only EX +1. He does not get his LB filled at the beginning of the turn, and I really need his LB full on turn 3. And so I did everything I could to ensure that I have his LB up on turn 3 for the strategy. So that's why Dragon's Brush and Paws of Prosperity are on there. Those both do the LB fill abilities at the start of battle after being revived or doing a Brave Shift. So I believe they both do that. Heart of the Tiger does that as well. Yep, another 5 LB fill there. And then, of course, Call of the Wild. That's the only one that's really sort of free to play, unfortunately. But with all those together, that's like a 20 LB fill. And when he shifts, he'll get another 20 LB fill after he does that. So that's how I'm going to get his LB up on turn 3, which is when we really need it. All right. Otherwise, yeah, his build is exactly the same in both forms. I didn't even give him a vision card. Didn't bother. He doesn't need it. He's literally just here as a water support unit. All right. And that's pretty much it. Starlight Elena. Built her for full-on killers. So yeah, Blue Mage Dress does the 100% killers, which is really great on her. Also has attack and mag, great for hybrid unit. Photon Core, hopefully you picked up at least one Godria if you did any pulls on the Halloween banner and picked up a Photon Core, great for fairy killers. And then, yeah, just more fairy killers in here. Make sure she's got her intrinsic ability, Hidden Power, because that's what makes her a powerhouse. Now, she's obviously not going to be the main DPS, but she'll at least do more damage than Kaito. We can say that. And yeah, Hero Dies card because it works on everybody, but if you don't have it, don't sweat it too much. You know, this card doesn't make or break her damage and the ability to get this fight done in the turn limit. All right, I just put it on it because it's the best card that I have for her. So she should be maxed out on Fairy. Yep, she's good to go. All right, excellent. So now let's take a look at Sinzar's Olive. All right, Olive's such a cool unit. I definitely think I'll come back and do a double Olive clear because I think that'll be an easy way to get a 5-unit mission done. So anyways, Sinzar is ready to rock and roll in this one. He's got her stacked to the max with cow gear. Ready to rock and roll. Prodigious Performer there for the chain ramp boost, which is really useful on Olive because unlike some other Extreme Nova chains, she is not she doesn't have like a big hit at the end, and so having that quick chain ramp really helps increase her damage. And then yeah, she's got the Dark Rain card, so he maxed on killers and LB damage, ready to rock and roll. This is a very impressive Olive. Thank you, Sinzar. This is a beautiful Olive here. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get in here, see how we get this done. I've done a few test runs with this team, and I think the fastest I was able to do it was 12 turns. So we'll see. It might be 12, could be 13. We should definitely get it done in 15 turns, no problem. All right, so let's get in there and see how we get it done. All right, so Celeste is literally she's so easy on this trial. There's like she doesn't do very much. She literally is just going to do her cover, and then on turns when she needs to do her Sealing Blade, she'll do Sealing Blade. Now, like I said, if you don't have the Dancer's Diadem on her, you'll want to make sure you go ahead and do Invincible Sword play on this turn as well. That gives her the active provoke, right? I've got the diadem on her, so all I'm going to do is the cover. All right, Nickel is going to go ahead and summon Leviathan. You have to have Leviathan on Nickel, of course. He can't summon any Esper that's on the team, so he has to have Leviathan in order to summon it. Let's see. Golbez just going to do, we'll do Curse. Oh, not Curse and Osmos. No. We'll do Curse. We'll do Give Your Powers to Meteor for that whopping 5x boost to Meteor. Every bit counts, right? And then Jet Black Curse just to go ahead and set up an initial break, because we're not going to have a defense and spirit break next turn. And so for our first Meteor, we want to make sure that's set up right away. And then, yep, we'll do Celestial Brilliance to set up the Sword Imperil. Stella Maris, and then Aqua Overflow. All right. Kaito, we're going to start by just going ahead and imbuing the team. Swelling Current, this does 45% water amp. Also does a 150% Fairy Killer for 5 turns. The problem with this ability is that it's on a 7-turn cooldown. So there are going to be a couple of turns where we do not have a Fairy Killer. And the damage will be reduced on those turns. But don't worry, we'll make it through. We'll make it through. All right, Swelling Current. And then we'll just do a Mana Few Words. That does a that does a bigger Fairy Killer on himself, which could be useful. If you actually wanted to gear your Kaito for more damage, you know, say you wanted to give him, you could give him the Hayo vision card so that he can use that that Extreme Nova chaining ability with Olive, and that would actually make him a much better damage dealer. I might end up doing that in my double Olive clear. We'll see. Just something to think about. All right, Olive, all she really needs to do is just kind of buff herself up. So Gunner Guardian, Juicy Melons, Fiery Splash, Brilliant Splash, and we'll just do Giant Melon Ammo. So we're going to be using her double melon shot quite a bit in this fight. It's a really useful finisher, especially the turn after her Super Limit Burst. It's actually quite powerful. And is going to help get this cleared much faster. All right. So yeah, Nickel is going to go ahead and shift because we want to make sure his LB is up and ready to go next turn. We're going to do Crashing Tides. Oh, no, sorry, not Crashing Tides. We'll do True Water Infusion. Then we can do Crashing Tides, why not? And then Flood. All right, and that's going to set up, because currently we only have a 130% water imperil, but Flood is awakened to +3, so it'll do a 135% imperil for this turn. And then once we do Kaito's Limit Burst next turn, we'll have the 140% water imperil going forward. Alright, Elena is just going to do triple Gemini Blade. Kaito can just do triple Cascading Slash. And Olive will just do Fiery Splash, Brilliant Splash. Doesn't matter, either one of these. We'll do Sky Sea Shooter, Giant Melon Ammo, and Dual Summer Shot. Alright, and then Golbez just says Meteor. Easy peasy. Alright. So this isn't going to be like our biggest damage turn. The bigger damage will come later on in the fight. But this should hopefully do a healthy chunk of damage. I'm hoping it'll do, you know, somewhere around 10% off Catastrophe's HP on this one. Now timing this is, of course, you know, a little bit tricky. Golbez will go first, followed shortly thereafter by Olive. And then, you know, wait a second to do the chains on Kaito and Elena. All right, so the timing on this, a little tricky, might require some practice. I've definitely practiced this quite a bit, and every now and then I still screw it up. So we'll see how this goes. All right, that's about right, actually. That's fine. I am happy with that. So I think, yeah, honestly, she's just going to cover again. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and set up that cover. And again, if you need to do the active provoke, do that again. It's good to keep re-upping it, because once she gets berserked, you want to make sure you have all that stuff active throughout the berserking period. And yeah, other than that, that's really all she has to do. Next turn, yeah, it was a pretty good one. Yeah, 1.5 bill, that was good. On the next turn is when Celeste will have to do the seal, the magic seal, or the Nephesite ability. All right, so now Nickel can do his SLB. This is what's going to provide the LB buff for Olive, as well as maintain our 45% water amp for beyond the term that Kaito's amp lasts. All right, so Kaito will shift and do his Brave Shift LB. Olive will do her Super LB. All right, we'll just do another triple Gemini Blade. And we're just going to do a triple Osmos here. All right, just to get Golbez ready for the following turn. All right, And then, yeah, we'll do cover. She'll do Curaga just to top up her HP, and Sealing Blade. Alright, I'm going to wait and have it be the last thing I do, though, just to make sure. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Yep, I think we're looking good. Check. Yeah, very good. Okay, well, let's do it. Nice. Alright, looking good. The damage will get better as we go on. Alright. So now we get to do another dual summer shot, and now it's got an extra bump from her SLB, which does another added modifier bump to her dual summer shot. So it actually hits fairly hard on the turns after her SLB. So it lines up quite nicely. All right, Elena will just do triple Gemini. Kaito gonna come back and do triple cascading. And la la. He could do true enhancing stance here if we wanted to, just to make sure his LB is up. I mean, it's going to be up anyways. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Because Kaito will be ready to go. Yeah, not going to worry. So I'll just do True Water Infusion, Crashing Tides, and Flood. Alright, and we're just going to do cover again with Celeste. She's going to get Berserk this turn, but don't worry, she's fine. Her normal attack does a magic cover, so even if for some reason something, you know, your magic cover expired, which it never would, it's fine. Her normal attack would have you covered. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and set her off. And, yep, just like before, we'll do Golbez first, followed shortly thereafter by Olive. And then, wait a second, do the chainers. Yeah, that was a nice one. Oh, that was probably the biggest burst I think I've done with this team. 3 bill. Nice. All right, so we're in good shape. You know, turn 5, we've already done a third of the HP off this thing, so we're definitely on track. So you see Celeste is berserked, but that's fine. We don't have to worry about it. The berserk will wear off in time to do the next Sealing Blade, and what's really nice about this is it's the turn that her berserk wears off, so it's kind of a nice little reminder. It's like, oh, her berserk wears off, or the berserk has worn off. It's time for me to do the Sealing Blade. So that's another reason why I really like Celeste for this trial. As long as you don't mind bringing a 6th unit. Again, I think doing a 5-unit clear, I don't want to say it requires Ash, but it definitely would make it easier if you had Ash. Alright, True Water Infusion and Shelga and Flood. I really should have enhanced his Shelga, but I'm not going to worry about it. You can enhance his Shelga to +2, and it does some extra mitigations and a higher spirit buff, all that jazz, but yeah, don't worry about it. Let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta do Celestial Brilliance next turn. Okay. What we're gonna do here, we're actually gonna shift. Is that right? I'm just double checking myself. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna shift Kaito. Just make sure he's going to have his LB up. Yep, LB is ready. So we're going to do unpredictable, no. Yep, undulating waves. Sorry, I always get those two confused. Because we want to prolong the spirit break. Because there are going to be a couple of turns where Golbez won't be able to take advantage of the 90% spirit break. Just because it wears off before Golbez gets a chance to do it on a couple of upcoming turns. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we have that extra bit of time on the 90% spirit break. Deep submersion. Yeah, we'll just do a double deep submersion. That's fine. What was I going to do with her? I think just that. And then Olive's going to go ahead and set up for the next one with fire cannon fire. So she's getting ready for her SLB next turn. Golbez will just do a triple osmos. Yep. And I think that should be about right. Yeah, this is not really a damage turn, so to speak. We're just kind of getting ready for another big burst next turn. So the osmoses will get weaker and weaker as we get further on in the fight, because Catastrophe does have a limited amount of MP. So by the end of the fight, Osmos is only going to be doing he's only going to be recovering like 30 MP per Osmos, but it's alright. By the end of the fight, we should be well covered. All right. All right, so we're in good shape. I'm gonna drop a big bomb here. All right, so we've lost our killer, but that's another reason why I wanted to extend the 90% spirit break for Golbez, because that just kind of makes up for lacking that killer. Yep. So SLB, LB, Golbez drops a bomb. We need to re-up our Celestial Brilliance, so I'm just going to do that. Actually, what I'm going to do, because I found in some test runs that Elena has some issues with MP down the line, so I'm going to do Celestial Brilliance and then a double Revitalizing Strike, just to make sure she doesn't run into MP issues later on. Let me check real quick the LB buff here. All right. Yeah, I think I did this one. Yep. Pretty sure I did this just to make sure there's still an LB buff, because I don't think I'm going to be able to shift in time. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Just because I don't know that it'll be ready when I need it. Okay. So I'm going to send those two first. Okay. So we should be good to go. So I'll send Golbez first, and then this one's, obviously a bit easier to chain, so we don't have to worry about that so much. All right, there we go. All right, past the halfway point. We're halfway home, folks. So yeah, we're on track now for, it looks like, about a 12 or 13 turn clear, so that's good. That's where I want to be. All right, so Celeste's Berserk has worn off, so that's my indicator that I need to re-up cover, do a Kiraga, and then do a Sealing Blade. Now, I'm going to wait and actually do that at the end of the turn, because if I did it now, it would actually seal one of Golbez's Osmoses. We don't want that to happen. Oh, sorry, he's going to come back here, and he just needs to do Cascading Slash. The reason why I keep doing Cascading Slash is because it does 10 LB fill for him, so that just makes sure he always has his LB up and ready to go when Olive's SLB is up and ready. Okay, Elena is going to triple Gemini. We're going to do another dual Summer Shot cap. All right, Fiery Splash, Sky and Sea. Oh, I'm glad I checked. All right, always make sure to do your Gunner Guardian, because that sets up the largest modifier boost to her dual Summer Shot. So you always want to make sure that's up and running. Fiery Splash, Brilliant Splash, Giant Melon Ammo, and Dual Summer Shot. Okay. What I'm gonna do here, actually, let me just double check all my imbues. Yep, still good on water. So yeah, I think what I did here was I went ahead and summoned, because the field lasts for 10 turns, and so this is just going to re-up it to make sure that the field lasts throughout the remainder of the fight. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have Golbez do his Osmos. Yeah, I see, wow, they're already getting pretty weak, 96 per. Whew. All right, that's some weak sauce there. That's why I wanted that 5 extra MP refresh on my sword. Damn you, Item World. Okay. Now it's safe for Celeste to go. All right. So now we only have to worry about Olive to do the cap on this one. We don't have to worry about timing both Golbez and Olive, so this one should be a little bit easier to hit. Okay. Decent little chunk there. All right, now, I of course would love to do another meteor on this turn, but we need to re-up our killer buffs. So we're going to do Swelling Current. Okay, remember that does the Fairy Killer and the 45% Water Amp. So we're going to do that. We'll do a Mana Few Words and then a Cascading Slash. Actually, he's got his LB up already, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to do Swelling Current, Mana Few Words, and Aqueous Infusion for him. And then Olive's just going to get ready to do her SLB next turn. All right, so she's just setting up all of the, you know, all of these things. Honestly, don't even really, now that I think about it, you don't even need to do all of those things. I could just do Fire, Cannon, Fire, because all I really need is the mag buff, or sorry, the store, the 500% mag store for next turn. So I don't even know why I'm doing all these extra doodads. I really don't need to do that. So I'm just going to do Fire, Cannon, Fire. All right, Elena can literally just do, I mean, we'll just have her do Stella Maris. Nicole, all right, he'll be ready to go next turn. Nicole can just do True Water Infusion, Shelga, and Flood. Celeste, let's see, we did our Seal last turn, so we don't need to do another one this turn, so we'll just cover. She should get Berserked on this turn, actually, so, yep, so you would just make sure she has her cover and her Provoke set up for the Berserk that she's going to get this turn. So yeah, Golbez is just going to do, I mean, we'll just do another triple Osmos, again, just to make sure. Actually, we don't even need to do that, because he's going to refresh his MP. So he can just, oh, I'll tell you what, let's give our power to Meteor. Yes, we want that extra 5 times modifier on it. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Yes, we're not actually doing any damage of any kind on this turn, I don't think. This is all just getting buffs ready to go. And hopefully, yes, all right, his LB is full. Because I'm going to need that next turn. So this one should hit pretty damn hard. At least I'm hoping it will. Historically, in my test runs, this has been a pretty big burst turn for the team. So let's hope that I can pull that off. Do a double Gemini, and we'll do a Star Supernova just to do that little extra bit of oomph. Alright, Kaito will shift. So you see Golbez isn't going to get He's not going to get to take advantage of the 90% spirit break on this one, but that's all right. We've at least got the killers on this turn, so that will make up for it. All right, so, yep, we're ready to rock and roll. Hopefully this is going to be a nice big boom. Nice. Looking good. All right. So we are on track. We could do True Enhancing Stance now, just to make sure he's got his LB up and ready to go. Make sure Kaito's ready for the next one. Yeah, it's never a bad idea. Yeah, True Water Infusion and Flood, just to make sure our imbues are always up. All right, Elena's going to have to do Celestial Brilliance next turn. That's right. So we'll just go ahead and do some damage with Olive's finisher. Yeah, Cascading Slash. That does the LB fill. So Olive will just do... Make sure that's not up. Okay. Fire Splash, Brilliant Splash, Sky Sea Shooter, Giant Melon Ammo, and Dual Summer Shot. Golbez is just going to do his typical... What? Oh, triple. Yeah, it's got to be triple one. All right, Osmos. All right. The only thing to be concerned about is pushing the 10% threshold, but we're nowhere close to it, and we're not going to deal nearly enough damage to get anywhere close to that on this turn. So I'm not really worried about it at all. We're going to do another big burst on turn 12, and that should push us well past the 10% threshold. Might even kill it on turn 12 if if variance is on my side. But if it doesn't, then we'll go in for the kill on turn 13. Too easy. Okay, so we should be set up and ready to go. Nice. All right, so that has put us in a really good position for our burst on turn 12. Should be a big one. All right, so Elena is just going to do Celestial Brilliance on this turn. Yep, she's good on MP, so I don't need to do any more of that. Olive is just going to get ready for... I do it again. I just need to do Fire Cannon Fire. It's like almost a force of habit. I can't not do like 5 different abilities every turn on her. All right, Cascading Slash 3 times. Well, actually, his LB is already full, so I don't need to do... Well, not like he has anything else to do, right? Is there anything he could do over here? Not really. Yeah, it's not really anything he needs to do. I mean, we could always just have him do a little bit of extra damage here with Elena, so what we could do... Celestial Brilliance and Double Gemini, just to push us a little bit closer. Golbez doesn't need to do anything. We'll just give your power to Meteor because we're going to do a big burst next turn. We'll go ahead and do Nickel's LB again to make sure we are all buffed up. And as you can see, we are ready to do another Sealing Blade. Oh, that is not what you want. Cover, Curaga, Sealing Blade. Make sure you do it in that order. If you do Sealing Blade and then Curaga, you will actually seal your own heal, and then the boss, you won't have a seal to do the Dispel Gust. So make sure Sealing Blade is the last thing that she does. All right, so I don't think we're doing a whole lot of damage on this turn. Olive is just going to buff up. So, yep. We'll just have Elena and Kaito do a little bit of chip damage here. And that might actually allow us to kill it on the next turn. We'll find out. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if we can kill this thing. All right. So we still got our killers, which is great, but you know, we don't have the 90% spirit break for Golbez. That's all right. We're not going to sweat it. All right, triple Gemini. Kaito will do his Brave Shift LB. Olive does her SLB. Nicole can just watch, I guess. Yeah, we could try something. Nah, better to be safe than sorry. What I will do, I'll just wait and see how the damage shakes out. If we didn't kill on this turn, we would need to do another Sealing Blade. So I'm going to go ahead and set Celeste up for what she would do. All right, so she would do another cover, Curaga, and Sealing Blade, or if you don't have passive provoke, have her do her invincible swordplay and then Sealing Blade. The reason is we're going to push the 10% threshold, and once you pass 10%, Catastrophe does the Dispelga on even turns, right? So that would mean, you know, if Catastrophe was still alive after this, he would do a Dispelga, so we need to make sure we have the seal prepared for that. All right, let's see, and then yeah, Nicole can just do whatever he wants, but Celeste needs to do that if Catastrophe is alive. I'm only saying that just in case it dies, and you might be asking, oh, what do I do? That's what you do. All right, so let's go ahead and get this done. Boom. All right. 12 turns. Eat it, Catastrophe. Nice. So yeah, I mean, obviously with 6 units, things are a little bit easier. You have more flexibility. This was just how I did it with my initial clear. Like I said, I will try to go back and do a 5-unit clear with double olives. I think that'll be very, very doable with this team and this setup. Olives are quite strong. It'll take a little bit of reworking, but I think, you know, I think that'll get it done. Thank you, Senzar, again for that awesome olive. Let's check out the damage. Yeah, there's Golbez. He's doing great. Olive clearly is the front runner, but Golbez is there nipping at her heels. And Starlight Elena still impresses me with the amount of damage she can dish out. You know, she's still very, very strong. You cannot discount her, and she definitely made this happen. So, yeah, I mean, I think if I bring in another Olive and I switch out my Celeste for my Ash to do the 250% killers, I think that's an easy peasy. I say that in easy peasy. I'd say that's probably a clear. Might not even need Ash. I could probably do it with double olives. It just might go all the way to turn 15. Because just looking at a properly geared olives damage on this thing, you know, she's doing 6.2 bill. So if you had another one doing that same amount, it would probably just go until turn 15 to get the kill, I imagine. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll play around with this weekend, and hopefully I can get back to you guys with another clear, getting that last mission. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out, and hopefully this was helpful to you guys. And yeah, I will see you guys on the other side.